Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing okay today and that you are ready for some more The House in Fata Morgana. And hello Quill, welcome. Just as one shot is ending this day, so blessed. Thank you. I'm very happy to have you here. I am ready for The House in Fata Morgana. So last time we got to see what Michel was going through in his past, both his childhood and early teenage years, and it was not very pleasant, that's for sure. We got to endure a long torturing session from Amy, that demon lady, and we ended with a flashback to happier times, when Michel and his brothers were out for a gloomy day picnic and they adopted a cat, Ugly Speckles. Happy times. But I think we are going back to the darkness a little bit. I'm not quite sure where we are in the story now, if there's gonna be more torture, or if we are gonna see the events that are leading to him moving to the mansion now. I'm just not entirely sure if it's like now or soon now, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to bring up right now, so I say we jump into the game. The cutest little cat that made Didier see like one of those gruff, sweethearted cat dads. Yeah, exactly. That whole scene was very adorable and wholesome. And also tell me if the sound is alright, because seriously, I am jumping around so much with the different games that I have no clue. So tell me if it's too loud or too quiet and I will fix it. Or if it's perfect, then we will just keep it the way it is. Up in my voice volume. I wonder if that's even possible. I think... Let's see. Gonna move chat a bit so I see what I'm doing. It is on max. Maybe if I move a little closer and let's see my sound settings on the computer. Oh, here we can maybe. Please do tell me if I blow your ears out now, because I'm gonna turn it up a bit. Maybe like that? Is it better? Always so much fun with the technical stuff. It's better. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Let's close that window and move chat back so I can see you properly. There we go. Alright. Thank you for telling me, Quill. Sweet lolly voice, yeah. Didier, George, was Amy telling the truth? Do you really think I'm nothing but trouble? Hi Elrin, welcome! Do you think I've lost my mind? That I'm a demon child? Didier, George, why do you not open this door for me and let me out? It looks like we're going to end up with Amy torture again. Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking like that too. That it might not be over yet. The music certainly is telling me that. Were the things I said that day really so heinous? Do you resent me too? Like Amy? Didier? George? How do you think about me now? Is this body really so unusual? If I hadn't undergone the transformation I did, would things still have been the way they were before? Would we be able to go out to that forest again and make silly meaningless conversation, everyone laughing like we had then? If this body hadn't changed the way it did, would I not be trapped in this darkness? Even if that were the case, I didn't want to be a girl. If God descended from heaven and offered to change me back, I would have turned him down. Because inside, I wasn't a girl. And my nightmare at Amy's hand didn't end there either. As much as I loathed to admit it, I was terrified of her. Every day I dreaded the sound of the door opening. However, if I were to block the door off with furniture, I would lose my only remaining lifeline. I had no choice in the matter. Yeah, it's not over. It's time for supper, Michel. I brought your favorite, parsnips. Well, what the dog didn't eat of them anyway. But you don't mind, do you? Also, do you remember way back when, in the mansion, when Giselle was going to reform Michel's culinary tastes? Parsnips was mentioned a lot, like he didn't eat them. They are traumatizing for him. Yeah. Oh my god, this is awful. It's awful. I'm going to cut your nails today, Michel. I need you to stay very still. You wouldn't want my hands to slip. So to make sure you do, I'm tying you up. This way you can't accidentally move. I hate how eerily beautiful she looks, and I recall the parsnip conversations. Yeah, she looks beautiful in a very haunting way. That's very true. This image is really gorgeous and so sad at the same time. Here's your water, Michel. It's murky. Oh, heavens me. I must have fetched it from the wash bay by mistake. It's supper time, Michel. I brought you parsnips again. Don't worry, the dogs didn't have any of these. They didn't seem to be interested in eating them raw. What? You don't want any? Then what am I going to do with these? You know, Michel, you're such a disgrace. Cry for me, won't you? Beg for mercy. Look at you, all that pride, gone out the window. It's hilarious, I tell you. She did everything imaginable to torture me, both physically and emotionally. To be honest, it was rather impressive, in a sick way, how she was able to come up with so many different ways to torment me. And she knew precisely what caused me the most pain. My body, and my god, English, why are you doing this to me? And the discrepancy between what I was and what I felt I was. She delighted in telling me I wasn't male, and sometimes in showing me. But I don't think I need to describe the things she did to me in any more detail. I could think of only one way to keep myself from breaking it down. I completely stopped talking, stopped struggling. Then, one day, after about 6 months or so, she said with a disinterested sigh, I'm done. and that was the last of it. By swallowing my pride and not resisting, I was able to escape from her grip. Once she was gone, the servants took over attending to me again. I was still imprisoned, but now there was a serenity in my solitude. I didn't speak with anyone. I didn't make eye contact. I didn't do anything. I just lived. But even though I had peace, I still feared Amy having a change of heart. I trembled at the possibility that one day it might be her that opened the door. But above all, I hated, despised the fact that I lived in such fear of a girl. Hi Duder, welcome, welcome. No worries, we have not gone on for too long, so just some more torture. An overwhelming self-loathing threatened to crush me. I had recurring nightmares about the things Amy had done to me. The wounds she gave me did not heal, they only grew worse, eating away at me day after day. I was beginning to lose confidence in my own sanity in the silent darkness, where there was no sense of time. The line between dream and reality blurred. I often found myself screaming, crying into the empty air. I clawed at my skin, pulled out my hair, paced back and forth across the room, pounded at the door, yelling for help. Screamed some more. It was the very image of pitiful. Absolute wretchedness. And every time I did, I'm sure there was someone on the other side of that door, whispering about how poor Michel had lost her mind. Eventually, I gave up entirely. It was a stormy night in my 16th year. I had been confined for more than 2 years at that point. Heavy rain pounded against the windows like thousands of little spears. I was sitting quietly on my bed, unable to fall asleep, when suddenly there was a loud banging on the door. Michel? Michel, are you awake? If you aren't, then hurry up and get awake! We got big trouble! Lower your damn voice! But... When I first heard my brother's voices after so long, I thought I was hallucinating. In 2 years they had never once come for me, no matter how hard I pounded on the door, no matter how many times I called for them. Hi Eric, welcome! Welcome to the stream. And after all that time, I didn't expect that to ever change. I had given up, assumed they had long since cast me aside. Unable to bring myself to say anything, I simply stared at the door. When it was another bam bam. The sound was half consumed by a crack of thunder, giving it an indescribably eerie quality. Please say something, Michel. Seriously, there's no time! You can hear us in there, can't you? You're there behind the door, aren't you? Come on, just one word, Michel. Is it really you, Didier, George? For a moment, they seemed to be at a loss for words. Probably because they almost didn't recognize my voice. But it was only a heartbeat, and then Didier spoke. There's a carriage waiting outside. I'm going to unlock the door so you can leave in it. Why? Because Dad's talking crazy. He's saying the Bollinger family has no need for a demon child, that you're a mark of shame on our name. So he's going to have you executed. George! Father wants me dead. It felt like the floor had fallen out from under me. Executed. Demon child. Mark of shame. So he was saying I didn't even deserve to live anymore. It's planned for tomorrow morning. We only just found out ourselves, which is why you prepared a way for me to escape. But why? Why? Do you even need to ask? Because we're family. Something terrible has gotten into Father. I clenched my teeth, fighting back a bitter, angry sigh. But I couldn't keep all those emotions bottled up for long. A maelstrom of feelings I thought I had lost in my 2 years of imprisonment swirled up inside me, spilling from my lips. Why? Why are you doing this now? If you really felt that way, then why didn't you come sooner? 2 years I spent locked in this room. Do you have any idea how I felt in that time? Michel, I want to make him into a comfy burrito, cuddle into the hurt veins, even a little. Yeah. Oh my god, what did I do? Stop. Yeah, he needs all the hugs and all the love. Any idea how hard I had to fight to endure? How many times I cried for your help? How hard I pounded on the door, begging to be set free? But never once did you come. Not even once. Michel, I scare you, don't I? You think I've gone insane? That I lost my mind? That I sold my soul to the devil, don't you? No, Michel, we don't. Then why? Why didn't you come and set me free? Michel, we don't think you lost your mind at all. So you didn't want to see me then? You didn't want to face what I become? Tell me I'm wrong, Didier, George. You left me here, abandoned me for 2 whole years, locked me away so you didn't have to see me. I'm sorry. I'm just, really busy with my art. I've been getting a ton of commissions down at the court. And Didier's a knight now, so, So he's up to his neck in expeditions. I'm really sorry. Those are just so lazy excuses. Like, it's been 2 years. They could have easily gone to visit him in those 2 years. Those are just excuses. Oh, you have a problem, Eric? What kind of problem? Is it something that we can help you with, maybe? As am I. I cannot say that you are wrong. After what happened, I wasn't sure how I was supposed to act around you. I'm still not sure, even now. Yeah, there's always tomorrow until there isn't, yeah. I mean, you can only procrastinate for so long, like seriously. And you can't just not visit your sibling for that long. It's just, no, absolutely not okay behavior. I knew. I had to find the time to collect myself. But I kept putting it off, vainly hoping that time would take care of it all. At least they are aware of the problem, but still. And for that, I owe you an apology. But you need to understand. I do not agree with Father's decision. I do not want to lose you. I don't think you're a demon child. And George feels the same. Neither of us want to see you dead. What he said, Michel? There's not much time. We need to get you out of here. I do like Didier's answer. It doesn't make up for it by any means, but again flawed, but human. Yeah, exactly. It's very human, and I do like his answer as well. It's the proper explanation for it. It's not making it any better, but it's explaining his side of you as well without trying to just put it aside. He know he did bad, at least. A bit down hard on my lower lip. Hard enough to draw blood. It was that, or start sobbing. It's a little late for that. Michel. If you don't get out of here, you're going to be killed. If I'm not an angel sent from heaven, or a demon child, then what am I? What on earth am I? What are you? You're a Bollinger. You're our family, and that's all there is to it. I pray you can forgive me for averting my eyes for so long. Can I trust you? Can I trust that even if the whole world says I'm cursed, that you'll always be on my side? That you'll always be my brothers? Can I put my trust in you once more? Didier, George? You absolutely can, Michel. I swear to God on high. And I swear to the God of art. Michel. I have no other choice, do I? I couldn't talk father out of it, could I? I would rather you didn't try. He's not a man to change his mind. If you were to show up before him, he would likely draw his sword on you himself. It would destroy Mother. I'm sorry. We're not doing this only for you. Okay, I'll go. Oh, thank goodness. The carriage will take you to a mansion, Michel. It's a property father purchased some time ago. But due to rumors about the house, it's abandoned. No one wants to buy it from him either, and that's unlikely to change. It's the ideal place to keep you out of sight. What kinds of rumors? Well, no point in keeping it a secret. He has a right to know. They say a witch lives there. A witch? I think it's all just made up, personally. I went to check the place out, and there was no one there. It was a little dreary, to be sure. I had hoped to have a better place arranged for you, but there wasn't enough time. This is only temporary, Michel. I cannot say how long it will be, but father will pass away eventually. And when he does, George will inherit the estate, and that will mean you can return. So we ask that you hold out until that time. Well, hello! Welcome! Welcome to the stream! If I don't leave, I'm going to be executed. So send me anywhere, I won't complain. I'm glad to hear you say that. I will talk to father, and ensure he does not suspect anything. We'll make this work, don't you worry. The long and short of it is, Dad simply wants you erased from the family. George! Sorry. I wasn't trying to be mean. But anywho, once I take over, we're in the clear. You'll be acknowledged as a Bollinger. I see. Okay then. Can I open the door now? Just a minute. Huh? You're still not ready? I don't have any clothing. Ah, right. You wouldn't, huh? How tall are you now, Michel? Around the same height as you, I think. You're taller than me? Damn! Alright, I'll bring you some of my clothes. Thank you. Wow, I don't think I've ever heard you say thank you without putting up a fight, Michel. That's not true. I don't think. I'll be back soon. Get what you need together. Alright. If only those two could see what Amy did to him during the early portion of those years. Yeah, exactly. That would have been an eye-opener for them. Sitting in the carriage waiting outside, listening to the pitter-patter of the rain, I gazed out at my two brothers. I hadn't seen them in 2 years, but they hardly looked any different than how I remember them. I was the only one who had changed, and dramatically at that. Looking at them, I couldn't help but remember the old days. Playing chess with Didier, learning to draw from George. Our sibling outings. However, the ominous sound of thunder crashing in the distance drowned out those memories. The mansion is several days' travel from here. Hopefully the carriage isn't too uncomfortable. I will send a package with any supplies you need once a month. Food, clothing, and something to pass the time. If there's anything you want, Michel, just tell me. Now, or you can have a servant pass a message on to me. I can't think of... Actually, wait. I can think of one thing. I would like a chess set. Alright, I'll have one made. I would rather have... yours, Didier. Would that be possible? Are you sure you want that beaten old thing? Yes, I want that one. Alright then, I'll include it in the first delivery. I'll send you something too, Michel. Anything you want, just tell me. In that case, I would like some art tools. I'm nowhere near as much of an artist as you are, George, so they don't have to be anything special. Gotcha! So, some canvas and, how about some charcoal? And when you're back, I want to see what you made with it, okay? Okay. I know this is already hard enough on you, Michel, but I need to ask you to do something for me. Avoid making contact with anyone who doesn't already know about you. So, I can't talk to anybody but the servants. Put simply, yes. Tomorrow, the world will consider you dead. So we cannot have people finding out you are actually alive. Especially father. Please do this for me. I've been doing that for 2 years already. I've long since lost interest in interacting with anybody, so you don't need to ask me to keep to myself. Oh my god, that hurts! Michel! Yes, he needs a hug, definitely. Poor boy. Right. Does anyone else know I am alive? Yeah, when are the brothers going to hug him? Exactly, they should do a group hug. Yes, Mother knows. In fact, this was her idea. It was. She loves you, Michel. She really does. Mom just, is having a little trouble facing the truth. So even though she's not here to see you off, I guarantee you she doesn't want to see you dead. She wants to have you in her life again. I expect Mother will be writing you. So please, take the time to write her back. She's a trouble woman, but her love for you is true and unwavering. Will you do that? Just a quick little, hey, got your letter, doing great, will suffice? Alright. Just so you know, it kills me indeed that we can't stand up to Dad. But as long as he lives, his word is God in this house. I understand that, yes. Well, you never know. It could be gone quicker than you expect. Week from now, and BAM! He's dead as the social life. Is there not an ounce of respect in your body? Oh, give me a break. I'm upset. He's gone way too far. And once he's dragged his arse off to the great beyond, anything goes. Surprise! Michel was alive! Yeah, I suppose. Until then, we'll take care of things here. Tomorrow's gonna be the performance of our lives. Crying like a couple of big babies and laughing our tails off inside. You'll forgive me if I have trouble trusting that loose tongue of yours. Psh, I'm not stupid. I know this is important. Not even Amy will suspect a thing. Amy. Yeah, not even she can know. It's gonna crush her, I'm sure, but the less people who know, the better. When George said her name, my whole body went shamefully cold. It had been 1.5 years since the hell she'd put me through, but every last detail of it remained carved into my mind and body. There was no way she could even be slightly sad about my death. She might act it, but she would almost certainly be elated by the news. It seemed George had still yet to see what lay beneath that woman's mask. I know you two were close. Huh? Are you worried about how this might affect her? What? She cared for you for about 6 months, didn't she? When you wouldn't let the servants in. What? From what I hear, you got real close to dying in there. You wouldn't even eat unless she was there. Who the hell told you that? What? Is that not what happened? Did something happen between you two, Michel? Amy. Amy didn't do a damn... Never mind. I can't tell them. I can't put what I went through into words. It would only worsen my shame. Especially not in front of my brothers. George, how are things between you and Amy? You still letting what happened 2 years ago get to you? Well, I mean, at the time, things were a total disaster. I'm all excited about getting myself a pretty little wife, only to find out she's rocking the boat with someone else. I cried for weeks. Yeah, I'm sorry. Deep down though, she ain't actually a bad girl. She's young, and kids makes mistakes. After it all came out, she turned over a new leaf. She started doting on me something serious, and well, it's hard not to let one little mistake like that go when she's trying so hard to make up with me. The age excuse doesn't work for Dee though. For about 1 year, things were really rough between us. I didn't even want to look at him. But at the end of the day, we're family. We can get past anything. Besides, because you let the cat out of the bag, that gave me something to hold over Dee. All things considered, I'm not complaining. So, you would say you're happy then, George? Sure would, yep. Believe it or not, I'm kinda head over heels for her. Hard not to like a girl like Amy. Oh, I see. Do you really feel that bad about 2 years ago? So she's still keeping up the good girl facade around George and Didier. Yeah, it's agonizing to listen to this. It's when you know, and they are just so oblivious to it. No one else knows. She's actually a sadistic cackling demon. There's nothing less trustworthy in the world than a woman who's always smiling. But if George thinks he's happy, I can't take that away from him. Michel? Oh, right, yes. I do feel guilty about the way I lost control of my emotions and took it out on you guys. It happens to everyone. In fact, you can stand to do a little more shouting and fussing. Then you could... Because I have underdeveloped social skills. You heard that? You got one hell of a nasty streak, huh, Dee? I'm glad to hear you're still on good terms. It wasn't my intention to pit the two of you against each other. We know. The blame falls on my shoulders. I want you to know something, Michel. Though your transformation was too much for Mother and Father to accept, with enough time, everything will go back to the way it was before, just like it did for myself and George. None of this is your fault. It was all unfortunate timing. God's a little of a yerk too. Try not to forget I am a knight, George. In time? In time. Speaking of which, we don't have much left. I'm going to tell the coachman to set off, okay? Didier. Yes? Tell me the truth. Will the three of us ever meet again? Why would you ever ask that? Of course we will. Not a chance I'm letting this be our last family get-together. One last question then. Yes? Am I your brother? Well, I mean, look at you. Don't look much like of a sister to me. So yeah, I'd say you are. I see. So long then. Farewell. And may good health bless you until we meet again. Until then, Michel. Farewell. Before seeing me off for good, they both gave me strong, firm hugs. Didier first, and then George. The warmth I felt in their arms, in my family's arms, slowly spread through my chilled body, which made it that much more difficult to part ways. The wheels of the carriage rattled against the wet stone-paved road. I stuck my head out the window, watching as they shrunk into the distance, standing there in the rain until they were completely out of view. A tightness filled my breast. Every glimmer of hope I had for my new life was matched by an equal degree of darkness and uncertainty. Would I ever make it back home? And if I did, would people still call me a demon child? Having to write to Mother was another uncomfortable weight on my soul. The thought of having to play a girl for her made me sick. George had acted like it would be nothing, but it wasn't that easy. It was more than mere pretend. Didier had said that with time things would change, but how could he be certain that those changes would be for the better? The wooden wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. Oh my goodness, guys. That one was rough. I'm not gonna lie. I am a little bit close to tears. Oh. Cursed mansion infinitely better than Bollinger Estate? Yeah, I agree with that. 100%. The Bollinger Estate is cursed. The next thing I know, I'm sinking into a vast void. Darkness cuffs my hands and legs, restricting my movement. Burrito blanket, yeah, thank you, Quill, thank you, I need it. Images of the past that I kept buried away for so long streamed past me. This isn't how I wanted it to happen. Not coming from my own mouth, but being laid bare for all to see without my consent. That wasn't how I wanted her to find out about my secret, about my shameful history. I warned you, my dear. I told you you didn't want to reclaim your old self. If you had simply let it be, you wouldn't be here now, forced to relive it all. Now do you understand? The tale I spun behind the fourth door was as much for you as it was for her. There, you were a young man with a sad fate, but you met a wonderful woman, fell in love with her, and then died in the arms of tragedy. The sequence of events is not far from the truth, but I was able to turn it into something enchanting and beautiful. I got rid of all the nasty little details. Your ugliness, your body troubles, all of that. Doesn't it seem a bit unfair, Michel? You tore down the walls around Giselle's heart, around her past, but you wanted to keep your own nice and safe and hidden away. She has every right to be upset. You were afraid she wouldn't accept you, were you not? And that's precisely what happened. But can you honestly blame her? The truth you kept hidden away is not something most would be able to accept. The prince who came riding in to save her. Silence! Wasn't actually a man. Please. Enough. I've seen enough. Let it stay buried, please. Morgana told Giselle that Michel is a girl, which is also false. Yeah. We do have to remember that Morgana is a master gaslighter. We can't take everything she says at face value, because she will always try to spin it into her own convenience. So, yeah. Just stop this. I don't want to see it. I don't want anything to do with it. What a sad little creature you are, my dear. Not a woman in this world would have any interest in you now. You surround yourself with a layer upon layers of walls, cover yourself with this patchwork, barely held together quilt of masks, and it's the only thing keeping you together. You're the frailest one of all, the weakest, and it's about time you accepted that and stopped trying to fight it. I am not weak. Oh, is that so? Let's proceed with the tale then, shall we? Face the one you hate the most in this world, yourself, your weakness, your ugliness. Face it and despair. Don't. Again. Once again my own desires, my own wishes are completely once more. And the witch is exactly right. I despise the man I was then, teeming with vain hope and foolish dreams. I would rather pretend that part of me never existed. But I have no choice. I am dragged back into the life I once lived. My pleas for mercy, fading into dark nothingness. Oh, it's this song again. I love this song. I couldn't remember how long it had been since the capital had disappeared into the distance, but I've been on the road for some time now. We'd long since left paved roads behind. The carriage rocked back and forth as it proceeded down the rough dirt path. For hours I stared through the window as unfamiliar scenery flowed past. Eventually, a fog settled over the area, making it difficult to discern night from day. We made our way through dark, dense woods, and beyond them, like the world fading into view after a dream, a mansion appeared before us. All the windows were either shuttered or boarded, encasing the house in darkness. In a way, it felt like all I had done was move from one prison to a much larger one. Briefly, I thought they had possibly been sealed to keep anyone from seeing me inside, but my coming here was a very recent development. More likely then, the house had been in this condition when it was initially purchased. Quite a piece of property my father had found himself with. I wondered if he had been swindled by his previous owner. It was a gloomy, uninviting place, but it didn't appear to be in disrepair. The coachman left my luggage outside the door, gave me an empty farewell, and then went on his way. I was entirely alone. I spent some time just staring out at the forest, but naturally there was nothing of interest to be found there. So I quietly turned around and opened the door to the mansion. It's certainly dark. I could barely even see my own feet. Briefly, I considered trying to unshutter a window or two, but ended up deciding against it. The less inviting the place looked, the easier it would be for me to avoid contact with the outside world, as Didier had recommended. Standing there in the darkness for several minutes, my eyes gradually grew accustomed to the lack of light. While it was hardly ideal, it was sufficient to take a look around the house. The inside didn't seem to have received the same level of care as the outside. Everything was dusty, and the air was many years stale. But I wasn't in a cleaning mood, so I dug through my luggage for a bundle of candles, lighting one with a flint. A stained glass window. Examining the large room I found myself in, I came across a stained glass window depicting an angel. The archangel, after whom I had been named, looked solemnly down upon me. Quite a joke. 2 columns of evenly spaced pews ran the length of the room, all facing the multicolored window. I set a candlestick on a podium of some sort, which is when I realized this is a chapel. A flat length of silver bent in the middle was mounted to the pulpit's face. When I saw it, I knew exactly what it used to be. A cross. The pews weren't facing the stained glass, but a cross. Why though? It felt as though the mansion had been built up around the chapel, rather than the opposite. I was perplexed as to why anyone would do that. But of course, there was no one around to sate my curiosity. Taking the candlestick back in hand, I made my way beyond the pulpit. There sat a small metal door. I pressed one hand against the cool surface, and my heart leapt. It was abnormally cold. Though the door itself seemed perfectly normal, an inexplicable anxiety spread through me. It was a very unusual sensation. My instincts told me I should stay far, far away, and my heart told me it was my duty to see what lay beyond. What am I going to find back there? After a few moments' hesitation, I decided to act in opposition to my instincts. I was looking at a long spiral staircase. The wooden stairs stretched so high I couldn't tell where they ended. An observation tower, perhaps. As if being pushed forward by some inhuman force, I mounted the staircase. By the 3rd or 4th loop, soft light began peeking into the tower through regularly spaced rectangular openings in the stone walls. Through one such window I gazed outside, and far off in the distance, beyond the seemingly endless ocean of trees, I saw a small village. Nowhere I'm ever going to go. So many stairs. It had been quite some time since I had exerted myself this much. I hardly had any opportunity locked away in my chambers. With every step I took, I could hear my joints creaking and my muscles screaming. I was long since out of breath, only staying upright with the help of the wall. This is pitiful, damn it. But turning back never occurred to me. I had to keep climbing, had to make it to the top. And it was that feeling of necessity. Guys, English! Necessity that pushed my exhausted body upward. By the time I reached the top, I was practically gasping for air. At least he has long legs now, yeah. True. Sweat streamed down my forehead. I wiped it aside, turning my gaze toward yet another door. But unlike the first, what on earth? A tangle of rope covered the surface. Layers upon layers of it, making its intent abundantly clear. Nothing shall come in or out. It didn't look like it had been put there recently either, as much of it was rotted through. Out of curiosity, I grabbed at the cord and yanked. The rope snapped in several places, chunks falling limply to the floor. That wasn't enough to allow the door to open, though. People only seal doors like this for a reason. Largely because they didn't want, or couldn't allow, others to see what hid behind them. like what they did to me. For a few moments, I felt as though I was looking down at myself from outside my body. If it hadn't been this man, but someone else standing there, would they have turned back at the sight of the sealed-off door, acting as though nothing was there? Or would they have done as I did? I ground my teeth, a mix of annoyance and bitterness rushing through me. But I did not hesitate. I held the flame of the candle up to the wall of rope, careful not to set the whole thing ablaze, slowly, carefully burning through them one by one. It was repetitive and time-consuming, but I persisted, wiping away sheets of sweat before it streamed into my eyes. The sun was well on its way down before I finally managed to expose the door. I took a deep breath, looked up at it, and gulped. There was something indescribably chilling about the door, and then I pushed it open. A barely noticeable breeze brushed past me. A single ray of sunlight shone into the room, coming from a single window sitting high atop the wall. It cast a milky white patch of light on the hard floor, revealing the fact that I was not alone. The rumors say a witch lives in the mansion. There I saw, in this cursed house, a skeleton with only one arm. A cursed mansion for a cursed man. It was like I was destined to end up here. I had no way of finding out who the skeleton belonged to, so I left it there, at the top of the tower, and retreated into thought. I wondered to myself, how had the one-armed person died? How had they felt locked in that room, staring up at that sole window so far out of reach? About the only thing they would have seen was the sky and the occasional bird. Had they yearned for more light, or had they come to despise the tiny patch of it that trickled into the room? Had they been some sort of wicked criminal, imprisoned for wrongdoing? Not all prisoners are necessarily bad people. Having been branded with a non-existent curse, I couldn't help but think that perhaps something similar had happened to whoever they were. Vainly reaching out for the sun, constantly praying for rescue that would never come. What had gone through their mind as they withered away? Would anyone ever come for me? Would my brothers keep their word? Or would I, years from now, end up another pile of dry bones somewhere in this house, unwanted and alone, robbed of all hope, with no one but the darkness to talk to, as it sunk its teeth deeper and deeper into me. That corpse could be me in the future. Didier, George, did you really send me here to keep me hidden? Or is this to be my grave? Can I put my faith in you? Can I trust you when you say I'll be able to return? That everyone will happily accept me? That we'll all be together again? That we play chess? That we draw pictures? That nobody would be left out? All I really wanted was for people to accept me for who I was. Would Michel not simply be able to leave at this point? I mean, I guess that he could, but we have to remember that he is very sensitive to sunlight and such, so he can't really move during the day. But he told Giselle also that he couldn't leave because he was being watched. I'm not sure if he knows that by now, but that's one reason why he can't leave. And also, I don't think he wants to leave. Like, he wants to have hope for that his brothers are doing as they are saying, and that he will be able to come back. So it's like living on hope right now. To accept that I was a man. No, that I had grown to resemble a man. That I had the heart of a man. I didn't need anything else. I didn't want to cause anyone anguish. I didn't want to hate anyone. I simply wished to be who I was. No, who I wanted to be. And I didn't want to be treated like I was strange or different. If that was asking too much, then at the very least I wanted to have one person in my life who truly understood me. Didier, George, I pray that you can be that for me. Lurking quietly in the mansion's all-encompassing darkness, I waited and hoped that the day might arrive when I could come out of hiding. However, 1, 2, 3 years later, I had still not been set free. Only my mother wrote me, and in all her letters she said the same thing. When your curse is broken, come back home, sweetheart. When your curse is broken, I want you back in my life. When your curse is broken, everything will be back to normal. I wait expectantly for the day you are free of that terrible curse. The curse would never be broken, though. What I was now was what I was meant to be. All that time I had spent as a girl, none of that was real. Didier had said he didn't think I was cursed. My brothers didn't think I was some hellish demon child. So no, the curse would never be broken. Because there was no curse to break. I wasn't cursed at all. There was no damn curse. But the flow of time eroded away at me, slowly killing any confidence I had once had. Sucking me dry of all trust. For others, and myself. With enough time, I started questioning my own beliefs about what I was. Started thinking that perhaps I was cursed. Much like they had at the Bollinger estate, the servant who came by every month did his best to avoid making eye contact. But beyond just bringing me food, he was also checking in on me and making sure I didn't attempt to run away. And every month he probably went back and told Mother the same thing, that my curse had still not been broken. Okay, I'm gonna take a short break because I feel like I need to stretch a bit. So you know the drill. If you want to stretch too, please do. But don't go anywhere because I'm still gonna stream, so please don't leave. But let's stretch for a bit, okay? Alright, I am back, ready to read again. I hope you all had a good stretch as well. Do you have the answers I seek, O Father in heaven? If you do, I ask of you to guide me. Don't go anywhere, you say. I've been walking 5k since I got on here. Oh wow, really? Good job, good job. Then I guess it doesn't apply to you, but you know. If you do, I ask of you to guide me. To please tell me what I am. If I truly am cursed. And perhaps you could tell me how much my soul weighs too. Probably not very much. I spent enough time alone in that dark mansion to drive anyone mad. The more the time passed, the more I grew to question myself, my worth as a human being. And whenever the self-doubt and loathing became too much to take, I trekked up to the top of the observation tower to see the light. Sitting there on the hard floor, I would place my hand on the skeleton's legs, its shoulder, its hand. From the size of the bones, whoever it was appeared to have still been young when their life withered away. Poor child. Even I feel blessed, compared to you. Oh, how miserable it must have been, locked away up in this tower, to have your arm mercilessly severed. You have my pity, though. I alone shall mourn your death, and I alone shall take comfort in your presence. You poor, poor child. By pretending to pity someone who had had it worse than me, I was able to feel somewhat better about myself. Because if I was in a position to pity someone else, then, conversely, I wasn't in a position to be pitied. Vainly, foolishly trying to convince myself of a lie, I spent hours, days alone in that tower, holding the dry bones in my arms. Now there was a sight to lend credence to my alleged madness. Over time, the air in the mansion seemed to thicken, as if the fog were condensing. Water pushed out all the air, swallowing me up, suffocating me. A putrid mire. I was trapped at the bottom of this thick black sludge. Soon I lost track of the passage of time, my only landmarks being the dates of Mother's letters. Before I knew it, 8 years had passed. This applies to both Morgana, Michel, and Tudor. Yeah. Ah, for everyone. Yeah. What the hell is this? I hadn't heard my own voice in so long I had almost forgotten what it sounded like. There was a delivery that day, but it wasn't the usual package. The servant was instead carrying a large rectangular object draped in cloth. Shoving that into my hands, he said, "The regular supplies will be here in a couple of days," and then ran off. Presumably he was afraid to spend any more time than necessary with the cursed man. But I didn't bother to say anything about it. I knew it was a waste of breath. And I was not inclined to hold it against him if he didn't want to look at me in the eyes, to exchange words. All I could reasonably do was sit back and bear it. As long as I kept my mouth shut, the man could do his job in peace. By the candlelight, I began unwrapping the package the servant had delivered. From within, a sheet of parchment fell to the floor, and inside the package was a painting. Just looking at it, I couldn't tell what it was, aside from the fact that it was a portrait of a woman. I knew those brushstrokes, though. They were distinctly George. The woman depicted had white hair. White hair. There was a flash, a fresh jolt of the pain that had nearly faded away. The half-dozen needles piercing my chest. So much blood had spilled from those gouges I had long since lost any sensation of pain, but now it was back. No, George, you didn't. My whole body froze. The blood in my veins came to a halt. I couldn't breathe. I was drowning in a pool of imaginary water. I crouched down to pick up the sheet of parchment. It was a letter in Mother's handwriting. The first line read, as it did in all her correspondence: "My beloved daughter Michel, every day I pray that your curse might be broken, but lately I have come to think that perhaps the reason you remain cursed is because you have forgotten what you are supposed to be. So long you have been spent in that accursed form, it is little surprise that you would lose sight of yourself. How can you return to your true self if you do not even remember what it is? So I ask George to paint you a picture, hoping it might help you break free of your curse. You are a beautiful young woman, my dear Michel. I presume you have already seen the painting. It's lovely, wouldn't you agree? That flowing white hair, and skin like glass, those deep enchanting red eyes, those slender fingers and modest feminine frame, those soft lips. It is not you when you were younger, though. Instead, I had him imagine what you would look like now. That is what you will look like when your curse is broken. Isn't that wonderful? Imagine it. Envision yourself, your true self. Remember who you are. Recall your true self. I'll wait eagerly until the day you come back to me, looking as beautiful as you do in this painting. My dear, sweet Michel. This is you. This is the real you. You are beautiful, my little girl. And I love you dearly. That awful fuss all those years ago? We can pretend none of that ever happened. Forget all about the dreadful thing that curse made you. Become the girl you used to be, the girl you were meant to be, so we can once more be a happy family. I am waiting, forever waiting for you. Oh god, I at least hope George hated making it. Yeah. I'm not sure he's sure of what he was doing, actually. He's a bit of an airhead, to be honest. The letter ended there, leaving me with the woman in the painting staring back at me, her eyes seeming to insist that I was not me, that she was the real me, and I was nothing more than a fraud, laughing at me, scoffing at me for ever thinking I was anything but female, mocking me for stubbornly insisting I wanted to be a man. The pain in my chest swelled, spilling from my mouth in grunts and moans. And then... I screamed from the bottom of my lungs. Why? 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 I yanked at my hair. Why, George? I slammed the painting against the floor. You said I could believe you. You swore to the god of art. So why? Why would you do this to me? You said yourself you didn't think I was cursed. You acknowledged me as your brother. You know this isn't me, so why? Why would you make this? I've been waiting for so long. I put my trust in you and Didier. I trusted you. I believed you would always support me. Was that all a lie? Deep down, you really think I'm cursed, just like Mother. And that's why you haven't written to me. Why you haven't answered any of my letters. Where did my fate get me? Why did you even help me escape? Was it all for show? Was my execution just a lie? An excuse for you to send me to somewhere far away? Well, was it? Tell me, George. Tell me the truth. What about you, Didier? Where do you stand? No, this isn't real. My voice was getting hoarse. I didn't have the strength to hold it in, and everything came spilling out of me, squeezed out by the phantom water. And the white-haired girl in the painting just stared back at me, smiling. I bit down on my lip as hard as I could. A metallic taste spread through my mouth, drops of blood trickling to the floor. Pulling the knife I used to open the monthly deliveries from my waistband, I lifted it high into the air, gathering what remained of my strength. This isn't me! And slashed the woman's face with it. This isn't me! This isn't me! I am not this woman! I am a man! Carved into it. This is not how I look! With everything I had. Don't try to erase who I really am! Don't call me repulsive! Don't say I'm an abomination! I tore into that smile, contempt surging from every slash. This woman isn't real! I wanted to curse the whole damn world. Every last thing. This wretched mire that had become of my life. My brothers, for happily going about their lives as I suffered here in the darkness. My delusional mother, for refusing to acknowledge who I was. My father, for trying to have me killed. Amy, for making me realize I was a man, and then for torturing me for coming out about it. Everyone. I didn't care anymore. I wanted everyone who had ever wronged me to suffer the same way I had. I can make that happen. A voice rang out. I can curse them for you, my dear. It was a woman's voice, muffled like there was several walls between me and her. Who's there? I swiped up my candlestick, thrusting it forward to the sides behind me. But there was no one else around. Give it a little thought. It's not that difficult. And when you figure it out, come to me. I have been waiting for so long for someone like you. Someone with such hatred for the world. How am I supposed to know who you are? How could you not, my dear? You visited me so many times, held me in your arms, whispered poor child into my ear again and again. No, that's not possible. I see. I finally truly lost my mind. If that's what you wish to believe, that's your choice. But the way I see it, if you had truly lost your mind, you wouldn't be in so much pain. The voice, still muffled and unclear, seemed to be coming from somewhere far away and very close at the same time. Yeah, let's be friends and happy ever after. Find your way to me and open the door once more. Let me out of my cage. Give me your hand. I knew in the back of my mind that it was all absurd, but nonetheless, I did as the voice said. I let myself be drawn in by the pleasant whispers. The archangel stood proudly upon his glass perch, looking down at me. His gaze almost seemed judgmental, but I marched for the tower unconcerned. For so long I have been waiting for the day I would be rid of this darkness, for the day someone would truly set me free. When you arrived at this house, I felt the hands of fate at work. That you were led here, that you were meant to come to this place. You've been through so much to get here. I know your pain. I know how it feels to be locked up, to be tortured and used for others' gain. You were the only one to ever have pity for me, and I shall be the only one to have compassion for you. You were the only one to stay at my side, and I shall do the same for you. You can give me life again. You can resurrect me. Now, open the door. Michel. It felt like I was no longer in control of my own body. Her voice was tender in a way unlike either mother's or Amy's. Enticingly so. Standing at the top of the observation tower, I pushed open the door. And the first thing I saw was a ray of light shining through the window. And nothing else. Thank you for opening the door. It was empty. The skeleton, which had been sitting there as long as I had been at this house, had vanished without a trace. I spun around, my gaze darting back and forth across the chamber, but there was no one there. Only her voice whispering in my ear. You made this possible. You gave me the chance to have my revenge. Revenge? Now, I can make those men suffer a hell even worse than the one they put me through. Constant, everlasting despair. Their flesh may turn to dust, but so long as their souls live on, their torture will know no end. The tenderness in her voice crumbled away, leaving only raw loathing behind. She then let out a half-muffled cackle. Who are you? Oh, you poor dear. They locked you up here without telling you whose house it was. You sad, pathetic thing. Though that's exactly the kind of person I needed. You're not a witch, are you? That I am. I am the cursed witch who loathes this puny, wretched world, curses it. And my name is Morgana. Morgana? I assumed the witch was nothing but a legend, a tale. If you don't believe me, I would be happy to show you. Let's see. I could place a curse on someone you have a grudge against. Drag them down into the dark abyss. You are the one who granted me freedom, after all. Sympathized with me, pitied me, appreciated me. You happily embraced my filthy corpse. And for that, I will grant you your wish. Wishes can come true, Michel. Much the same way I was able to come back to life. If you remain steadfast in your desires, they will become reality. For devotion and yearning are the fountain from which miracles spring. I cannot leave this mansion grounds, but that is but a minor inconvenience. Tell me who you wish to curse, and I can lead them here. I can force the cross you were made to bear onto them. I believe in my power to perform miracles, because you made my miracle a reality. So tell me, my dear, who will be first? Your second brother, who made that ridiculous painting? George. Shall we kill him? He deserves at least that. He brought you more than enough pain. But if you would rather, you could curse your mother instead. Or the woman who set you on this path. Or perhaps you would prefer your father. With him gone, you could return home. Ask, and I will perform a miracle for you. I didn't think she was lying either. As ridiculous as the whole affair sounded, the skeleton had disappeared from the tower, and I was hearing a disembodied voice. But beyond that, the voice seemed to have a sort of magnetism to it. If magic truly did exist in the world, then her words were laced with it. There was a power in her voice, something that repelled any instinct I might have to doubt the things she said. So I, on the verge of losing my grasp on reason altogether, believed every word the witch said. I wanted to curse them, to curse my brothers, mother, father, Amy. And the witch was saying I could do precisely that. What will it be, my dear? There is no price. I don't require a sacrifice or a dark ritual to perform my magic. I simply wish to show my gratitude. I want you to have that which you desire. Who do you want to curse? The witch's sweet whispers hung in the air for a brief moment before whispering away. All the muscles in my body tensed up. I felt woozy, like the floor was wobbling beneath me. It took everything I had not to fall over. Who did I want to curse? Oh, and you're welcome to choose more than one. All of them, even. I could curse them, and the witch would kill my family. I would be free. No one would know I had been born female. Why don't you become the new head of the state? Who would I curse? She would be a really useful friend, but toxic maybe? Yeah. You don't want to get on her bad side, that's for sure. Who would I kill? Didier? George? Mother? Father? Amy? All of them. They had exiled me to this place. Have your revenge. A black butterfly fluttered across the room's single shaft of light. As I stared absently up at it, dozens of memories, of emotions, flashed through my mind. But at the end of the day, we're family. We can get past anything. With enough time, everything will go back to the way it was before. Just like it did for myself and George. I don't understand. Why would I think about them now? They've abandoned me. Left me in that room for 2 years, and then left me here for 8 more. They don't care whether I am alive or dead. So why should I? Why should I? Have you made up your mind? I have. Then tell me, my dear, who will it be? Who will you curse? Yeah, small Michel is very cute, I agree. No one. I cannot curse anyone, Morgana. Surely you jest. I know just how much you wish to see them dead. I felt all your hatred, your despair, and you mean to tell me you can't curse them? It struck me just now that I can't do that to family. I cannot curse my own family. This is the family that cast you aside, labeled you cursed, made you suffer for years, and then locked you away in this remote mansion. And they don't feel even the slightest bit remorseful about any of it. I understand that. I know that they don't give the same weight to their words as I do. I figured that out long ago. I know I'm alone in my prayers, that they don't want the same things I do, that I trusted them more than they ever deserved. So why then can you not curse them? Because I don't want to hate them. I don't want to bring them suffering. On the contrary, I want them to be happy. Yeah, I wish he could curse Amy, definitely, but he is too... Michel is too good for this world, we don't deserve him. You have no place in that happiness, though. It is a happiness that rests upon your misfortune. Why then should you not drag them down so you can find respite for yourself? I would find no respite by cursing them. How can you be so sure of that, my dear? I most certainly found a great deal of it myself. You're trying to follow your conscience, I can see that. But that good is superficial, and all it does is shackle you. Remove the shackles, and everything will be so much easier. Nothing you say can convince me to kill my family. Why not someone who isn't family then? Surely you can think of at least one person you would like to see dead? Oh, I most certainly can. I could kill her a dozen times and it wouldn't be enough. But just because I would be happy with her death, doesn't mean there aren't people who would be sad to lose her. Remove any one person from that group, and the whole thing could come crashing down, all because I couldn't restrain my own hatred. Your concern for them will devour you. Don't think I'm not aware of that. You aren't. You don't know that at all. The only reason you give them any consideration is because deep down you still have hope. But hope has a way of forsaking those who give it a home. You have a problem and you need to take care of it before it kills you. You and I, we were cut from the same cloth. While you may still care for your family now, in time you will come to curse them. Consider that a warning, Michel. Your hatred, your curse, is what brought me back to life. And there is no getting around that. We do have plenty of time, though. No need to rush to a decision. I'll show you what it is to truly desire deep, deep down. And I'll show you again and again until you finally acknowledge it. The black butterfly hovering by the window disappeared, and the witch's voice grew distant. Overwhelmed, I collapsed to the floor unconscious. Had I really said what I did out of love for my family? Or was I just afraid of crossing that line? Was Morgana right? Was my heart now home to a terrible monster? If I actually had resurrected the witch with my hatred, maybe that was what I was now. Darkness seeped down over me once more. I was again encased in a pool of despair. Slowly, ever so slowly, it wore away at me, eroding me into nothing. If I didn't come up for air, I soon would take the witch's offer. Cackling like a demon, I would place a curse on someone. I would kill them. Reviving her was a mistake I never should have made. And not for the greater good or anything so noble. No, every time she spoke, a little more of my spirit died. From that day on, Morgana's voice became a constant fixture in my life. Curse them, kill them, curse them, she serenaded directly into my ear. No matter where I hid or how deep I put my fingers in my ears, her voice resounded directly in my head. Hearing an incessant stream of curses from a disembodied voice was so unreal, so unbelievable, that I felt as though I was being dragged away from the realm of humanity. There was an odd, unsettling magnetism in her voice, allowing her malevolence to seep into me. It was downright torturous. Curse them. Revile them. Do you really need to be in your right mind, honestly? Your fixation on holding on to your sanity is what's causing you so much anguish. Admit it. There's more darkness, more seething malice inside you than anyone else. That's why you were the one to resurrect me. Admit it. You do want to curse them, don't you? You do want to kill them, don't you? No, I don't. I don't want that at all. I've told you this already. You're so desperate to deny it, Michel. It can only mean that it's true. You would be able to maintain your calm if you were truly free of guilt. I do not wish to kill Didier, or George, or Mother, or Father. I have no desire whatsoever to see them dead. Your constant babbling is messing with my head. Be honest with yourself, Michel. You do imagine what it would be like to hold their warm intestines on your hands, standing over their bodies. No, I don't. That's not what I want. Don't lie, Michel. You climbed the tower. You opened the door. You sought me. No, I wasn't in control. No, Michel, you were. Enough! I'm done listening to you. Now, don't take your anger out on inanimate object, Michel. Do you even know where I am? Where are you? I'm standing behind you. In front of you. Now, I'm beside you. You're just playing around with me, Morgana, mocking me for your own amusement. Not at all, my dear. In fact, I consider you a close friend. Why would I mock someone who means so much to me? We are not close. You will come to understand in time that we are very much the same. And when you do, you will also know that I am the one person who truly understands you. Enough. Enough. Enough! Let it all go, Michel. Curse it all with me. Despise it. Kill it. Make it suffer. Curse it. Please, just stop! And where might you be going, Michel? Wherever you run, I will always be by your side. Are you going to pray to God to exorcise me? Now that's quite amusing, considering I am the child of... I'm not trying to hurt you, Michel. On the contrary. Stop talking, please. Just stop. I want to set you free from your misery. I can't take it anymore. Please just be quiet. Who's there? I'm here to deliver your monthly package. I mean, there are two kinds of wants, I suppose. Primal urge versus reason or something like that. Yeah, exactly. I don't think Morgana cares about that, though. I see. Michel? Is something the matter? I opened the door, and there stood a servant of the Bollinger estate. He seemed to be quite perturbed by the sight of me. I must have looked terrible. Morgana's voice, her words, sap my spirit dry. A human, a normal person, not a witch or a spirit or a demon. I knew good and well that the servant would never do anything to help me. He wouldn't believe a word I said. But at that point, his humanity was enough for me to latch on to. Help me, please. Pardon? The witch. She talks to me. She never stops talking. I'm begging you, please get me out of here. Let me go back home in your carriage. But please, let me go back. The witch's voice. It's killing me. It won't go away. I can't escape it. Please, I need your help. You've gone mad. What? You're crazy. See, this is why I didn't want this job. Having to deliver supplies to this damn cursed mansion. Having to get anywhere near Bollinger's youngest child. No, I'm perfectly sane. You sold your soul to the devil. Don't think I'm in the dark about that. No, I did no such thing. You're completely insane. No. I'm done with this damn job. It's not worth all the riches in the world. Not if it means I have to be around a lunatic like you for even a minute. Why? I am not crazy. I am perfectly sane. I'm not mad. Michel, your mind is far, far from sound. I won't hear it. I am not mad, damn it! I am not insane! I won't hear it. The witch spent nearly every waking moment of every day at my side, talking and talking and talking, about how mean-spirited humans were, how ugly they were, an endless loop of vitriol, and she never seemed to tire of it either. Every single day, on and on and on. I was crazy once, yeah. She also made a point of reminding me about myself, everything I was trying to get away from. But as much as I fought to ignore her, to not let the things she said in, she slipped past every wall I put up, her every word warping me. There was no escape. Curse them. Revile them. Remember the things they did to you. Close your eyes and envision it. Remember the scorn in their eyes, the way their lips twisted as they laughed. You need only curse them, and you can wipe those reprehensible smirks out of existence. I'm serious. Please stop this, Morgana. Please stop talking to me. I'm begging you. I seriously can't take it anymore. Oh, now why would you say that, my dear? It's just the two of us in this gloomy old house. I don't see what's wrong with a little conversation. Your voice, everything you say, is eating away at me. I care for you, and everything I say is meant to help set you free. So I will continue saying it. You're allowed to hate the people who have wronged you. They don't deserve happiness. Someone who's always smiling for you is someone who's certain to betray you. Someone who values themselves above all will not hesitate to put others' lives on the line. Someone who covers wealth and power will sacrifice his friends and family to obtain it. These are the kinds of people you once surrounded yourself with. I have told you repeatedly that I will not curse anyone. Why must you be so stubborn, my dear? I could ask you the same. Why won't you just leave me be? Because I can't stand to see you like this. With one word, you could be free of your pain. But because you insist on shackling yourself to your idea of family, you make yourself miserable. We are the same type of person, Michel. The type who has the right to curse others. Regardless of what kind of childhood you had, or how much hatred it instilled in you, Michel, you are a cursed man named after an angel. You need to realize how twisted you are, and soon. I am not twisted. Do you honestly still believe you're normal? Tell me, what's normal about someone who happily embraces a skeleton? Tell me, what's normal about someone who hacks away at a girl's face with a knife? You are not normal, and I will repeat it as many times as I have to. You need to accept that. Why must you hold so tight to your sanity? If you would just let go, you wouldn't have to suffer. No one is going to come and save you, my dear. The only thing that can save you anymore is your loathing. We are the same. I am nothing like you. I am not a witch. I am not cursed. I'm human. I'm a human. Man? Yes, a man. With that body. Oh, my dear friend. Let me tell you something you should be quite pleased to hear. Do you know what some say about people like you, those who are neither male nor female? That they are like unto God. Like unto God. Indeed. You should have been worshipped for your divinity, but instead your family cursed you. You are not human. From the second life was first breathed into you, your fate was decided. No, you're wrong. If I really were wrong, you would not be here now. You would be back home with your family. Perhaps you would have a pretty little wife, living a normal, happy life together. But you have long since strayed from that path. It's well out of sight now. I have not. I'm human. I am a person. A normal person. The youngest son of the Bollinger estate. I am an ordinary man. No one, not a single person believed me. Not even the witch was willing to consider me human, never mind my family. The archangel, whose name I shared, looked down on me. The witch tried to drag me into her world. My past constantly ate away at me. I had been imprisoned in this place for far too long. There was nothing I could do about my body. All of those things combined threatened to break me. I let out a scream, then stumbled out of the room in a frenzy. Again, you should have just learned knitting. I don't think that would have solved anything. He would still hit puberty, and it would still be a problem. I had to get out of that place. It didn't matter anymore that I was forbidden from leaving the property. I just wanted all of it out of sight. If they wouldn't let me come home, then I would run away. It was all I could do. I wanted to get myself anywhere that might have even the tiniest bit of light to share with me. I was desperate. Someone, anyone, please, tell me I'm human. Tell me I'm a man. Anyone, please tell me I'm not cursed. But when I opened the front door, searing light pierced my eyes. Ugh! The world quickly went white. I couldn't see a thing. And then... My arm began to burn beneath the sunlight. Black smoke rose from the sizzling flesh. A sickening stench filled the air. Excruciating pain quickly spread to the rest of my body. Why am I... Water! I slammed the door shut, restoring darkness. Gasping and groaning, I trudged back into the house in search of water, which I'm sure the witch Morgana observed with a great deal of pity. I don't think you're in need of any water. Take another look at yourself. With what little light managed to worm its way into the corridors to guide me, I dragged myself to the chapel, stopping beneath the pale light shining through the stained glass window. How? I wasn't burned. In fact, my skin hadn't even turned the slightest bit pink. There was nothing wrong with me, as far as I could see. Where had that pain come from then? And the distinct stench of burning flesh? This is your doing, isn't it, Morgana? I know what you're experiencing. It's happened to me too. Sometimes, enough emotional distress and despair can cause physical pain. The mind and body are much more tightly linked than you think, and your mind is far more damaged than you know. You poor, poor thing. You have my sympathy, my dear. You sad little child. Collapsed on the floor in front of the multicolored window, I felt like the whole world was closing in on me. Or perhaps, metamorphosing around me. I was completely and utterly cornered, and there was no getting around that. Which left me with only one option: to stop fighting and accept the harsh reality before me. It would make everything so much easier. The whole world said there was something wrong with me, and I was the only one who tried to deny it. So in the world's eyes, that meant there was something wrong with me. I was abnormal. I was irregular. I was mad. I was cursed. I was not human. I was not a man. If I'm not human or male, maybe I should just call myself a witch. I did, however, remain firm in my refusal to curse anyone, unwilling to give up that last piece of my humanity. Everything else I let go of, which took a great deal of weight off me. I stopped caring, and I stopped thinking. I stopped wanting someone to accept me, and I stopped wanting to run away. Sunlight no longer caused me agonizing, unseen burns, but in exchange I became emotionally empty. I discarded my faith and my hope, building a shell of cynicism and closing myself within it. And in time, that became my normal. I began to believe it was what I wanted. Tranquility filled my days. Time trudged onward at an almost imperceptible pace. The witch's whispers no longer caused me aggravation. Alright, I think that is the perfect time to end it. We have gone for almost 2 hours, so let me change my screen. Yeah, so is everyone feeling happy? My god, these poor beings that are Michel and Giselle. The pain they have gone through, it's insane. Thank you for the lovely stream. Thank you, Quill, for being here. Thank you. Well, Michel has certainly been through a lot, and it is not strange at all that he is acting cold and emotionless when he meets Giselle. He has forgotten how to be human. He did sort of like what she did, just made a cocoon and stopped caring about anything. And honestly, I feel like that's the most proper thing he could do instead of like going insane. Because just imagine having someone constantly whispering in your ear like that. I mean, I would definitely lose my mind. So it's like either go cocoon mode or go insane and like maybe even resort to suicide. So yeah, but it is a very dark and sad story indeed. His past is heartbreaking, and there have, like, I'm trying to compare his tale to Giselle's tale. Giselle at least had some sort of happiness in her life. She had a good upbringing with her family and were happy, and even though Michel did have some sort of happiness, it was still very much filled with his dysmorphia for his body and all that. So his life has been a life of pain almost through and through. So it's very, very sad, and yeah. I love it and I hate it. Michelle turned incel, living alone in a dark room with no friends, mad at the world. I mean, you're not wrong, I guess, but yeah. Yeah, the tale is enchanting. I do agree with that. It is very beautiful, as well as very tragic. You're gonna whisper sweet horrors into my ear. Yeah. Please don't. I think I'm already quite insane. So I don't need to go more insane. But yeah. I feel for Michel, I truly do. But we know that he will get happier, because now we have gotten through all of these terrible parts, and we are going to see Giselle again soon and see them not reunite, but like meet for the first time and all of that. And that will be a brief moment of happiness for him, where he will feel human and loved and all of that, which he deserves. Makes you kind of feel like he did with Morgana. Maybe my life is alright after all. Yeah, definitely. Michelle has had it a lot worse. Also, speaking of Morgana, I do like that part, even if it's still very sad and morbid, but like how she sort of uses his words against him, like how he told her when she was a skeleton, like, oh poor child, no one feels for you but I, blah blah blah, and now she's doing the reverse thing. It makes me think she's kind of like bitter about that whole thing, like if only you actually cared about me, like, sort of, almost. Yeah. But yeah, next time we will get to see Giselle again, so a little bit of happiness at least. But the next House and Fata Morgana stream will be next Monday at 16:15 GMT +2, as always. And the next stream will be on Thursday. We will play Final Fantasy VII, also at 16:15 GMT. So if you're interested in that, please pop by and watch me play. It will be a lot of fun, I think. I'm going to go and make some dinner now. And I wish you all a lovely evening. Bye, everyone!